My first top story of 2010, which was also one of my early articles for Times Live, and my first front page story for the Times newspaper, is the bail hearing of Molemo Jubjub Marohane at the Protea Magistrates Court in March this year. For me, what was most interesting about covering this event was not so much the actual trial, but rather witnessing the massive reaction it got from the public at large, and most specifically the students of Soweto. What you're seeing in this slideshow is a collection of pictures I took of students protesting outside the courtroom hearings. All are shot on an 18 to 55mm lens, which meant I had to get really close to the action. On one of the days, I also managed to shoot pics at a local school, which had been completely abandoned after COSAS members apparently forced learners to attend the rally and threatened teachers if they attempted to teach. The most chaotic period of covering each day was when the hearings ended and the students, as well as journalists I'll admit, went on the hunt to see Jubjub as he exited the courthouse. Although police managed to get him out quickly and with little sighting each day, it was at this time that the students and police would inevitably clash. This kept those of us with cameras on our toes, as we shot the action while avoiding water cannons and rubber bullets on one side, and stones and projectiles from the other. My second top story of 2010 is the prolonged countrywide public servant strike, which took place between July and September. Covering the protest was a sort of reporting revitalization for me. This following the limited reporting privileges allowed to most journalists by FIFA during the World Cup just before. The strike itself was inevitably one of the major news stories of the year, because it not only played a role in South Africa's image post the World Cup, but also had a major effect on the public as the strike continually snowballed and more teachers and medical staff joined the strike. During the strike, I got to cover what can be called both sides of the story. Towards the end of August, I filmed one of the bigger protests as thousands of workers marched through Johannesburg. I also accompanied Defence and Health Ministers Lindiwe Sisulu and Aaron Motsoaledi on a trip to various affected hospitals in a military helicopter. The strike was eventually resolved and was a fascinating event to cover. It allowed me the opportunity to see close up the mass solidarity that workers in South Africa can show for each other, as well as the bedlam that can erupt when strikers and police are incited. My third top story of 2010 is actually a series of stories for a new show that I created, produced, filmed and edited for Times Live. Called Extraordinary Joes, the show was conceived in about August of 2010, filmed during September and October, and aired in November. The idea for Extraordinary Joes was to showcase ordinary people in South Africa who do extraordinary things. The first series of the show, which aired in November, featured a diverse group of highly talented people from across South Africa. There were the township filmmakers who motivated a mass rat cleanup, the dangerous lives of building wrap installers, a creature creator, and the young lady behind the world's largest art gallery. Extraordinary Joes was definitely my top highlight of 2010, and in 2011 the show will grow even bigger and feature even more amazing people from across our country.